Somebody asked me the other day, how do you get happy? Like it's something that you can just kind of buy or acquire. And I've given some thought to it, not just in the last 2 days, but it's been a huge component of where I've operated in terms of business over the last 20 years or so, in the vein of contentment. And as I've operated in that vein, contentment really is happiness. And so I guess the broader question is, how do you get content? And I'll just share 2 very simple things that I have learned throughout the years on this particular topic. And the first is simply take your eyes off yourself. We are so consumed in today's social media driven hysteria of how many followers do I have and how many likes did I get and how many engagements did I get on Twitter or retweets or replies, forgetting that the dirty dark underbelly of social media is that you can purchase all of that fake validation. So as long as you're obsessed with finding some level of validation to make you happy, which supposedly comes in the amount of followers you have or the amount of people who engage your content, you're never going to be happy. So the first step is you have to take your eyes off of yourself and you have to turn them outward. And what that does is it causes you to come face to face with the reality that you're really not that important. And I know that might sound depressing to some of you and a splash of cold water in the face, but the truth of the matter is there's been over 100 billion people who've lived on this planet throughout recorded history of mankind. 100 billion. And if you gave us a sheet of paper, we might be able to write down 1,000 people across all disciplines: actors, entertainers, politicians, authors, musicians. Maybe we could come up with 1,000 people. Maybe some of us could come up with 1,500 if we included pro athletes and different things. Maybe 2,000 if we're lucky. But percentage-wise, that is such a infinitesimally small percentage when it comes to 100 billion people that it forces you to encounter the reality that you're not that important. I am not that important. So when you come face to face with that reality, it then allows you to move to the next conclusion, which is stop worrying about your legacy. Your legacy is not that important. Everyone, I think it's probably LeBron James's fault on a lot of fronts. Oh, I've got to ponder my legacy. What's my legacy? Throw your stupid supposed legacy in the trash can. It does not matter, especially if you're being a jackass to all the people that are around you on a daily basis. So if you're obsessed with your legacy and obsessed with social media validation, yet you're treating your spouse like garbage, you're ignoring your kids, you treat your coworkers like crap, you don't care about homeless people in your community, you have no thought for the orphans in the foster care system, all of that stuff, you're missing the point. Your legacy is going to suck anyway. And I think that's what I took away from the Steve Jobs biography. You see this man who's brilliant creatively, brilliant on a design front, brilliant on seeing beyond the horizon of what's currently visible in the future, and yet people hated him. He was a complete jackass. And you just scratch your head and you go, wow, he accomplished so much, but people really detested him. And I don't think that they're mutually exclusive. I think you can be very productive, very you can accomplish a lot of things and still not be a jerk. So the 2 things: take your focus off yourself. Stop worrying about your validation and your stupid follower count. Turn your eyes onto other people in your community, in your immediate sphere of influence, and ask yourself, how can I be a help and a servant and kind and loving and a benefit to the people who are immediately around you? And you're going to discover as the years go on, you're going to discover contentment and happiness, and you're going to realize that that's ultimately what's going to be what contributes to your legacy anyway.